Generally, when people think of sailing, they think of either a leisurely sail with friends or the old sailing vessels used in the time of Columbus. We want to see if new technologies can enable wind power to be used for effective transportation of people and cargo. Technologies are already used to automate the movement of sails, and wind power can be harnessed by freight carriers when the ship is traveling with the wind. What we decided to do was build sail cars modeled after the Oracle BMW sailboat. The Oracle BMW boat won the America's Cup in 2010 and was designed by a team of top sailors and engineers. The Oracle boat was a trimaran, which is different from our boat, but we used the same sail design. The biggest design innovation was the two-part wing sail, which could be adjusted much more finely than a conventional sail. The first boat we created had a skateboard bottom, which we found was too heavy. The mast was a little too large, and since it had a medium-sized sail, it couldn't catch as much wind as we would have liked it to. And because there was tape, we couldn't easily adjust its angle to the wind. So we decided to fix some of the problems, and we might have gone a little too extreme.
We lightened up the bottom, but it might have been too light since we used styrofoam. Then for our wheels, we made them lighter also by using CDs, and then they were attached by little axles made of paper clips. But this one ended up being too light because it had too much lateral movement when the wind, because it would push it to the side. And then these didn't have enough friction. And then this was also hard to adjust. I mean, it was better because it was actually fixed in the base, but we couldn't move it as well because of the tape.
Third trial, we found we wanted to change some of the things on the base. We knew we wanted to keep a light base, but have wheels with more friction. We also wanted to easily be able to change the angle to the wind of the sail, so we made a base that could have a pivot point.
So this is our new sail. It's much bigger, and we used plastic, which allowed the wind to fill it up to push along the base. And then also for an adjustable, so we could adjust it to the wind, we used the Tinker toy, which would attach right here, so we could easily twist it and adjust it. And then for our wheels, we used wheels with more friction. And then for the bottom, we used Legos to make a more stable base. For our fourth trial, we modeled our sail after the Oracle BMW Racer, which recently competed in the America's Cup and ended up winning. In a traditional sail, you can only adjust the shape of the sail in a couple ways. But in this new sail,
Using the latest technology, there were two pieces to the wing, so you could adjust it in many ways. They also had stays, which meant that you could pull it in more or out more and adjust the camber. They also used the Bernoulli principle, which is mainly used for airplane wings. But for this, they put it on its side, and the high pressure was in the flat part, and the lower pressure was in the back, or on the curved part, which caused it to be sucked forward, which was the reason it went so fast.
So the Bernoulli principle has to do with lift and air pressure. So with the two different shapes, the flat surface on the bottom and the curved on the top, the air will flow differently over the top. This will curve over, and then the air on the bottom will just slip by, and it will create higher pressure, which will eventually lift the airplane up. On applying the Bernoulli principle to the sailboat, while the pressure is on the bottom, if you were to turn it on its side like the sail would, it would be pushing it that way.
The flatter part is here, which causes the wind to easily slip by, causing a higher pressure here, and because the back is more rounded, it takes the wind longer to get around the back, causing suction so the boat can be pulled forward. Since our model is not exactly perfect, here's a picture of the actual sail looking a lot like a wing. This diagram gives you an idea of how big the sail is, almost twice the size of a Boeing 747 wing.
In order to test the effectiveness of our sail cars, we set up a trial. The fans being our wind, and then we would find an angle of the sail that would give us the maximum distance.
We tried 180 degrees, but no one was caught. We tried 180 degrees to the wind. We tried 90 degrees to the wind, and we had too much. It was being pushed too much to the side. But once we set it to about 135 degrees to the wind, we caught enough wind so that it was powered forward easily. Now we will run a trial with sail car number 1.
For this sail car, we used a heavier base with heavier wheels. However, one of the problems was that it was hard to adjust the sail's angle to the wind.
Now we have a trial. As you can see, it's moving very slowly, but it's still moving.
We didn't get as much distance as we will on the other cars. What we will show is trial with our second sail car.
When we turn on the wind, the sail car will be pushed too much to the side because it is too lightweight. Now we will start our second trial. Now we are doing a trial with the sail 135 degrees to the wind and a traditional sail. It went about 49 inches, which is pretty good.
This is our fourth sail car, and this sail is a new attempt at, and we modeled it after the BMW Oracle racing sail.
You can see that this part is this part is 135 degrees to the wind, and this part is 110 degrees to the wind. We are able to change the camber. We can change two parts rather than just one. We can change the angle of the wind on this sail and the angle of the wind on this sail, making it easier for us to catch more wind and have the Bernoulli principle applied.
Now we're going to do a trial with our fourth sail car. This makes us nervous, however, because this sail weighs so much.
Last time we did this, the whole sail snapped. If we had $400 million and titanium at our disposal, we may have been able to make a smaller replica of the Oracle BMW racer. Here it goes. It went about 39 inches. This spreadsheet shows the results of our Oracle BMW sail car. We experimented with the wings' angles to the wind. For trial 1, we set the wings so there was 25 degrees difference between the two. Trial 2, we set them so there was about a 15 degrees difference. We tried trial 1 again because we had made some adjustments with the wheels and observed almost the same results. For trial 3, we increased the difference between the two wings' angles, which did not help. On trial 4, we set the wings at a 50 degrees difference, and at this point our wing broke. When we fixed it, we had to get a new Tinker Toy piece, and Lucy hot glued it back into place. Then, we ran 3 trials with a 25 degrees difference between the wings. We adjusted the front wing's angle to the wind. The sail car ran best after we fixed its wheels, and what surprised us was that it traveled the farthest. On the last trial, we think the sail was more streamlined, so it glided after it went past the fans rather than hitting up against the air like a parachute.
It's not far to Never Never Land, a reason to pretend. And if the wind is right, you can find the joy of innocence again. Oh, the candles can do miracles, just you